Yo, yo, yo. Hey, Florum. Sag bloß, du bist auch Deutsch. Florum, are you German? Oh. Oh, ice spewing lions. Forgot about that. Oh, nice. I think it's really impressive to speak multiple languages. Oh shit, the second one is coming. How? I need to kill this one as fast as possible. Oh, come on. Okay, this one is gone. Tessin. So, and Tessin is in Switzerland. It's kind of, I think it's, fuck. Yeah, I have to say I haven't. I wasn't speaking a lot of English before starting to stream. Well, it helps a lot to at least try to speak English on stream. And I think I'm getting better from stream to stream. Wait. They do not reset. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So Switzerland is crazy. I don't know if I isn't it like that you have like 3 languages in Switzerland? Like Italian, French, and some kind of German? Hey, Earthmind. Oh, thanks. At least, if if one can understand me, that's enough. Cause Soul is so interesting. In some way, I don't know. In some way, this place here feels weird too. Like 3 small gravestones. That calls with an item, but it's probably just a smithing stone. I would bet it's a smithing stone. No, it's a Godwyn Run 10. Huh. I think one of the lions were sitting over here as well. Yeah. I have to check that in another playthrough. Yeah. It's officially 4th? Right, Talon. Rate Romansh. It's a mix of Latin words, German words, and some Celtic words unspoken in some remote areas. Oh my god. But I've read that it's good for the I don't know why, but I think I've read something about those who can speak multiple languages have like more are the better learners. Like I think there's something going on in the brain that if you speak multiple languages, usually your cognitive abilities are a bit better than statistically. I think stone 5. I mean, that doesn't have to be in every case. Just I think it's a good thing. You can speak multiple languages. Okay, smithing stone 5. Okay. Hmm. Five freezing grease. Maybe it's pointing towards the gravestones as well. probably due to pattern recognition and communication differentiations, but I've met people who are very good with math and chemistry, but talk to the languages and vice versa. Yeah, you know, kind of a cliche. But in general, usually, I think it correlates if you are if you can articulate yourself better. Usually, your understanding of things are also better. It goes hand in hand a little bit. But it also can be in your own language. It doesn't have to be another language. Just yeah. I mean, that's kind of makes sense, right? Because thinking needs... If you can articulate something, you also have a better understanding of something. I mean, probably kind of obvious. I mean, there's also something like intuitive. I mean, intuition is also underrated sometimes, I think. But yeah, without being able to communicate or articulate yourself and exchange intuition, isn't that much worth either. Like, for example, there are some people that are good in math, for example, but they're not really good in explaining others. How math works, for example. And it's kind of interesting because teaching others a subject is also something that helps you to understand the subject better as well. Because you have your structure, your thoughts, and explain everything in more detail. And that's also something why I really like to stream in my current playthrough, because just spilling out my thoughts and try to explain what it just brainstorming helps me with brainstorming in general when it comes to these references or allusions sometimes. So, sometimes if it's like on stream, I understand some things better just on the fly. Hand daggers. Even though it's in English and I still struggle sometimes with my vocabulary. I fucking hate the 5 fan daggers. There's something to these fan daggers, but I don't get it. They sometimes appear in different locations, and it feels like there's something to them. And in one of my videos, I said that the Ravenmount assassins are, for the most part, referencing our story and Godwyn's story as the Flightless Bird and the Prince of Death, which is also connected to the theme of fortune, where the claw mark talisman is highlighting the number 4 with those claws or talons. But sometimes it feels that there's going in when it comes to the fan daggers, I don't know, there's something odd about them, especially because Patches is selling them. I'm just thinking about the idea. Maybe these fan daggers are related to Radagon as well. I don't know. I don't get it. Hmm. So 5 fan daggers. What's over here? Oh jeez. Golden 10 again. Okay, I have to take this one out first. Yeah. Oh no. Are they explosive? Yep. Oh my god. Hitting the wall. This fort is also incredibly damaged over here. Is there something? Oh, oh fuck. Yeah, okay, there's nothing here. I think the color is interesting from those banners. It's a really strange green. It's not really present in any other area, I think. Yeah, teaching there's to the concept of responsibility. I mean, you care about what you want to communicate, therefore you have to possess a clear idea of the concepts you want to pass on. Yeah, exactly. And I have to say, when it comes to my videos, for example, I think and some people said it too, that they are probably not perfectly structured, but you can definitely follow my thoughts in my videos, which some people definitely appreciate probably. But as I'm working as a teacher, it kind of helps me to structure ideas and the videos. And comprehensible way. But also sometimes it feels also like structuring a paper or a scientific yeah, like a scientific paper, because of course if you're writing I don't know what's called in English. If you're writing a paper or something like that, you have of course you're structuring it as well in a good way. It's just something that I've never learned in school myself. So it's something that or at least I learned in my 20s. I think it's still 6. Oh. Okay, they're over there. Still not sure if this is supposed to be blood. But I think it's everywhere in this castle, so I don't know if we can consider this being blood. Oh, I think I forgot something. Oh, this one is deliberately placed over here. Is there something special to this one? Yeah, I mean, my main problem was that I already saw that if I'm going to start this project, this will be an incredibly huge project, and all these thoughts, they're just too much for separate videos, and I have to in some way build upon other videos, and because of this, I just thought it is incredibly important that they are structured in a good way, because otherwise the effort isn't worth it if it's not well structured and you are losing yourself through the series. I mean, it's even now. I think even now, where I'm somewhat satisfied with how I structured them, I think it's Yeah, it's kind of complex. It's nonetheless. It's I need to use my free camera. When I'm doing a lore research day or so. Yeah. I think there was one of the Stormhawk eggs. Over here, yeah. Whoop. I just appreciate that it's recognizable that I thought a lot about how I structure the videos. Okay, let's see. Stormhawk eggs. It's the second one. Battleaxe designed to resemble a hawk with its wings comprising the blades. Signature weapon of warriors who strive to remain one with the storm. Despite being so far from the place of birth, their hearts are proud and thereby easily undone. I think it's definitely about Godfrey. Especially because Nephililu, as a Godfrey parallel, is using both of them. And the other one we find even the other one it's even found in the fortified manor. So we're still convinced of the idea that these are related to Godfrey. And then the whole seduction and betrayal is about Godfrey and the tarnish as well. Kind of fits with the description of their hearts are proud and they were easily undone. Yeah, it's also interesting to see that it's that. Whoop! What? Where's the bird? Okay. Yeah, but it's directly above one of those banners. And I honestly wanted. I haven't picked up the painting yet. Oh, I forgot. 3 Thorfrost boluses. The thing about the invadable characters, they tell something about the history of the lands between. Invadable, like for example, like the Ravenmount assassin that we invade with the Yura and, at the academy. the offline ones at Volcano Manor. Oh, you mean for the Volcano Manor quest? Yeah. Yeah, I think it works the same way. Like every character is representing one of the main characters, and they just with other details, surroundings, or together with other NPCs, they are creating allusions, references, parallels. It works the same way, I think. I think the biggest problem is, I think what takes the most effort, I think, is to find the right perspective and to get the right idea of the background story first, because if you start to having the right idea, background story in mind, the references and allusions start to make more and more sense, and from there on you can flesh out the details. But I think what takes the most time is the very beginning of figuring everything out. It's like I really like the comparison with learning a language, but without knowing the words. I mean, that's also one of the comparisons or ideas or experiences that Miyazaki tried to implement, right? But imagine you don't know anything about the language, and you get a sentence in front of you, and of course you will have no fucking idea what the words mean, right? But if you already know a few words, you can like inferring the meaning of a word just by looking at the context in which it appears. So the more you know, the easier it gets to understand what all these words are about and what they mean. But I think that the most difficult part is to figuring out the first words or the first meanings of something. And there it even starts, because first you have to even realize that there is some kind of language that it is spoken. You have to realize that Form Software is indeed telling stories through item placements and character parallels, and yeah, all these sorts of references and allusions. Or another analogy that I used in one of my videos was this: they work like inside jokes. Like someone who knows the background story will understand these inside jokes and is even able to create inside jokes. And it doesn't take much effort to create these or understand these. But if you don't know the background story, those inside jokes might not make any sense, and you just think, what the fuck are they talking about? So, first of all, you have to imagine the right background story, and if you get the feeling that, okay, imagining that kind of background story, the inside jokes start to make sense. But the background story you might imagine might not be perfect, and some inside jokes still might not make sense. But from there on, you can fleshing out the details. But to even get some part of the background story right is probably the most difficult part, or to even realize that the game's content is in some way designed like inside jokes, or like in form of references and allusions. And I think my biggest wish for the community would be that more, yeah, that more people in the community would take this perspective, and I would love to see more people discussing things from this perspective. But in the end, if no one else is doing it, then yeah, then it's probably my my task to step ahead, and maybe some others will follow. At least that's my experience from spending too much time on Elden Ring Discord lore channels or the subreddits. Another Golden Rune 10. All of these are Golden Rune 10s again. One Thor Force boluses. Totally confused right now. Where have I been? Where have I been? Yeah, there. Okay. Do they look different than the other corpses of commoners? I wonder. They're missing their legs. I don't know if that's the case for others like this. And somehow their faces look incredibly weird. I don't know if that's just the hood, maybe. And what's that kind of texture? Could also be that I'm just thinking too much about them, but yeah. Like the boss needing a prosthetic. Yeah. Even it's interesting that it's also the boss that I was missing a leg, right? I mean, maybe all of these corpses are missing the legs, even in other places. Another summer smithing stone 5. Oh, wow, wait. It has the same door like in Stormvale. But I think it's also at the Roundtable Hold. I mean, I thought maybe it's some kind of asset that appears only in situations related to our resurrection. Because I think it only appears like in the Stormvale Church. And I think it's also at the Chapel of Anticipation. But I think it's also at the Roundtable Hold. Yeah, and you're completely right. I think it's even built the same way like the... Oh yeah, it's true. It's built the same way as the Stormvale Church, right? I mean, not completely the same, though. But it's the same room structure, I think. Just before dawn, yeah. It's true. Oh, let's look at the one in Redmane Castle. Redmane Castle Plaza. I think it's slightly different because you got a room on the right instead of the left. In this case, you get a room on the right. So it's not exactly the same room structure, but it's similar. Does it also have a... yeah. Okay. Yeah, feels like these three are like similar build. But I think the specific mural you were examining is not random at all. They're similar inspired. You know, when I think about assets, I don't mind when they're reused. It's just, in my opinion, it doesn't matter if they are reused or had a different meaning in another game. If they are used in specific places in Elden Ring, I think they just might code these areas to point out that there might be a connection between them, or that references exist that connects them in some way. And that's why I think the argument and that hey, these assets already appeared in games before Elden Ring it doesn't hold up. I think it doesn't really matter if they appeared in other games or are reused. But you think it's a scene particular to Elden Ring? Or it's not particular to Elden Ring? Oh hell. I still wonder if these golden flames of wraiths that also appear in Connected to Omens are somehow related to the golden flames of the Death Prince. You know, because they also appear on the Eclipse Shoulder. I just realized that it's even resembling the half Hellbrand in Curse Mark in some way. I mean, the shoulder also depicts like a half Hellbrand. A little bit, at least. Although it's, yeah, it says that it's I mean, it's depicted in an eclipse. Eclipsed sun drained of color. I'm convinced of the idea that the term drained, or the description drained of colors probably means soulless. They choose the asset while knowing full well what it might represent, even if it is an asset from somewhere else. Yeah. I mean, it's no problem at all. You can use a different meaning in a different game for the same asset, right? I mean, for example, a painter also might use the same color in for different paintings, but is using it in a different way for different objects. So I don't know, it doesn't make sense. So do you say that the painter is reusing colors for his painting? Bro, that doesn't make sense. Samba, smithing stone, 8. Oh, I can't go there. Bruh. Uh-oh. Sometimes I feel like I should play other From Software games because it might help to understand Elden Ring better sometimes, but it would take just too much time. I mean, I've played Dark Souls, but today I was reading through items from Bloodborne, but I've never played Bloodborne, sadly. But sometimes descriptions in Bloodborne sounds like they contain themes that are also present in Elden Ring. In a slightly different way, probably, but in an abstract way, they might be similar. And that's really an interesting thing to me. Oh my god. Please stop. What I think is interesting, I don't know how common this asset over here is, but these look like cannonballs. But we never see a fucking cannon in this game. To me, it feels like they don't really make much sense. I mean, maybe these are just iron balls for like chains of prisoners. But I don't know. I think they look a bit odd. Yeah, the jargon, that's true. And it shoots great arrows. Sometimes I have the feeling like maybe like iron balls. I'm just thinking about the idea. Maybe these sometimes refer to those silver tier spheres. Exactly, like and the prisonerhood. Sometimes I think these round iron or silver objects might be references or some sort of allusion to silver beings, silver tiers maybe. It's just an idea, it's just brainstorming. Oh my god. They have an interesting hue. I mean, we have all the Norix here in this place. I think stone 6. So maybe the allusion to silver beings is not that unlikely. Oh no. Oh, I'm fucked. Hey, that's the Radar moveset. Usually I just run through this area. Oh my. Yeah, sure. You know, I was thinking about the idea that those iron balls or iron spheres might sometimes refer to those silver spheres or silver beings or silver tiers, because Big Boggart, for example, it's not only the prisoner set, for example, where the helm appears some way as a sphere. It's also Big Boggart, for example, who's using those iron balls as weapons, those fist weapons that represent iron spheres. And because Big Boggart is an from my view also a Godwyn parallel, which might be reborn as a silver tier, it would fit really well. Oh, but that's just an idea. Oh, come on. Shut up. Oh. That's the Radar moveset, by the way. I just realized that. The cross swing. Oh no. I just realized that it's in some way a bit odd that we find Albinorix here. I've never paid much attention to that. detail. Wait, I already been here, right? Yeah. Golden Rune 9. Okay. Not a Golden Rune 10 this time. Hmm. The Golden Rune levels, do you connect the 10s ones with the 5 ones and the 9 with the 3? No, not like that. So, to me it seems like they... I don't... for now I don't think that the number is that important. What I thought more about was the description. So, but I'm still thinking about the idea that they might use them sometimes with their numbers as and use the meaning of a specific number. But for now, it seems more like that they use the runes in combination with their description to refer to something. And I think one thing that I definitely is recognizable are, for example, the Golden Rune 3 to 5. The Golden Runes 3 to 5 contain the description of, even now, runes are still imbued with the power of life itself. Do you see the Earth Tree towering over there? And I realized whenever they are placing a Golden Rune 3, 4, or 5, they used this line in the description just to refer to the Earth Tree. And I think whenever you find a Golden Rune 3, 4, or 5, you are supposed to think about the Earth Tree in connection to the environment. At least that's what I think. And so the different descriptions most often refer to a specific object or character, I think. And it seems like they are using these descriptions in regard to the environmental storytelling. For example, there are the heroes runes, which talk about there were once heroes who walked the battlefields abundantly blessed by the Earth Tree itself, who upon earning their honor simply died. And these are probably used to refer to the slaughter of the Tarnished sometimes, I think. And the runes tend to... And this is something that I've not talked about yet. But the Golden Rune 10 to 13 are they're speaking of the grace of gold blessed those who were first to serve it with the most vivid coloration. For now, I think that these are referring to Rena, or Marika Rena, because I think that more or less it all started with the death of Rena, and at some point it kind of clicked. Because I think the golden shade of grace that we see in the Round Table Hood, for example, represents Rena's soul, but colored in gold. And I think that these runes over here, and referring to the first to serve the grace of gold, I think it's about Rena's soul, who kind of served in a way as the first one, because she's not only, her soul is not only the core part, but also in some way the first who died when it comes to the current Elden Ring. And I think there are interesting things going on with it when it comes to the grace of gold, because you might remember the incantation Barrier of Gold, which is for some reason strange, has a strange icon because it depicts like turquoise colored sorcery, I don't know. And at some point it kind of clicked me because I were combining those two. So we got here some turquoise animations, but it's called Barrier of Gold. And I thought a lot about the Revenant parallel, because in the Revenant parallel it becomes incredibly clear that, so in the Revenant Remembrance of Night Rain, it said that the Revenant, I think, was the first who died, and in regard to the night that is ruling right there. And I think in the same way, Rena's death was the first death when it comes to the current grace of gold. It sounds a bit complicated, right? So, I just think that these two refer to the same circumstances. The grace of gold blessed those who were first to serve it with the most vivid coloration. So, probably gold. And when you think about the Barrier of Gold, which is for some strange reason turquoise, I was thinking, okay, what kind of connection might be there between the color turquoise and the color gold? And at some point it just clicked, because I think, Rena has turquoise eyes, and eyes are symbolic for the mirror to the soul, and it kind of makes sense that her soul might have the color turquoise because you got a shaman's soul in some way. And yeah, I think originally her soul is probably turquoise, but it's colored in gold because it's the grace of gold that kind of corrupted her, or is sealing her soul, or is taking over her soul. I connect the grace of gold more to the greater will and the Elden Ring, and her soul is contained in it. It sounds so strange. Stone Saw Key. It looks like the Stone Saw Key is pointing towards the Harlic tree. So it just, I think Marika's soul got the qualities or properties of an ancestral spirit in some way, and it kind of makes sense if we consider her being a descendant of shamans, and therefore I would expect that her soul is also turquoise, and that Renna depicted by Rani, represented by Rani, as the puppet is depicting Renna, got a turquoise eye, and I think it's also reflecting her soul, which is a shaman's soul in some way, like an ancestral spirit. And but we never see really any turquoise spirit or something like this. And reading the Barrier of Gold description and seeing this icon and the description of the Golden Rune 10, for example, which says the first to serve the grace of gold were colored in the most vivid color. Yeah, just made sense to me that it's probably referring to Marika's soul, or Renna's soul. Yeah, but I will at some point make a video about this one, about this stuff. Wait. This is not the first area. How do I get on top of that one? Hi Zed, hey Fishy. Was it the right way? Up there? Yeah, the ancestral spirit infant is also turquoise. Kinda confused right now. Maybe I just remembered this area wrong. It shouldn't be there. I mean, where's the area with this incredibly deadly? Oh, here it is. Okay, okay. Yeah, this is definitely a spot that you remember if you've been in Castle Soul. And we got a corpse looking at a bookshelf. Three smithing stones. 7. There are 3. kind of bad omen. Bookshelves, usually I would say books and bookshelves usually represent some sort of plan, probably. And we got a lot of rats here. So maybe it's about a rat, about a trader planning something. Something bad. Do we have any other items here? In the rune arc. Okay, maybe it's something. But it's next to a little fire. Maybe it's once again about Marika's death. Renna's death, I mean. I think it's also the place right next to those gravestones. The painting's over there. The painting's in the building right over there. But it would kind of fit because right next to this place we find three gravestones with the Godwyn Run 10 on one of those gravestones. And for this for example, this was the Godwyn Run 10, and I associate the Godwyn Run 10 description with Renna's death and her soul getting colored in grace, in the gold of grace. So it would fit probably. You guys, you know this guy, right? I mean, he's kind of a meme. Extra 5. 8. Oh, there's also an item. Oh, I can't go back. Okay, guys, let's go. No. Little bitch. Nope. Bunga bunga. Bunga bunga works just too good. He had no chance. We just bonked. Okay, let's see what's this one. Oh, it's this ruined Amber Medallion. It's a wild theory, but there's this idea that the power of the sun might have been captured in two by the Earth Tree. The sun still exists, but the Earth Tree really keeps the night at bay compared to DLC. I don't think that's a wild theory. I mean, I don't think that the Earth Tree literally contains the sun, but I mean, isn't it even directly stated that the Earth Tree? I mean, I'm sure that there's some description that is comparing the Earth Tree to the sun, or at least the. Yeah, I'm definitely sure there's something like that somewhere. Or maybe it's just... Or was it the warming stone that is compared? It said that the Earth Tree was once as warm as the gentle sun. Yeah. See? I mean, it's even compared to the sun. Or sunflowers, yeah, sure. You're absolutely right. I mean, sunflowers are famous for being oriented to the sun. It's absolutely no wild theory, in my opinion. And it kind of makes sense, right? I think Farm Azula in the distant past was probably the Sun Realm with some kind of old Elden Ring. And I just think there have been circumstances where it was almost destroyed, probably, or in some way destroyed. I don't know, but it kind of reappeared through Radagon America, and I think this is more or less the main story. Also, what it is about. But it's probably just reappeared in a new form. I don't know if the distant Farm Azula era also had some kind of tree, but I mean the Sun Realm shield is depicting a sun. Probably the sun was more the focus. I don't know if there was also a tree. Might be, but I don't know. But in the current era, I would say whatever is containing the properties of a sun or the powers of a sun is now connected and entailed with intertwined with the Earth Tree. How is Godfrey first Elden Lord if Placidusax was earlier than him? So there are different interpretations. Hey Liu Kang, by the way. We don't know for sure. I don't know. And there are different interpretations out there. At least most of the people would say that Godfrey is just the first Elden Lord of the current Golden Order. And whenever he is described as first Elden Lord, it's just the first Elden Lord of the current Golden Order, and not of the distant past of Farm Azula with Placidusax as Elden Lord. Though I think maybe, so I have an idea that I'm still working on. It might be that Miyazaki is just once again fucking with our minds, and so there is a possibility, there could be the possibility where both is true. I mean, Dark Moon. I mean, I think Placidusax was described as Elden Lord, I think. And it's a bit weird that both are described as Elden Lord, right? But it's also a little bit odd that Godfrey is so often mentioned and described as the first Elden Lord. even in the theatralic way or dramatic way. So, and at some point I thought, okay, what if both statements are true? In what way could that work? And I think both statements could be true. At least that's an idea that I'm working on. I don't know if that's really the case, but so my conclusion was, maybe, considering that the guidance of grace is responsible for some kind of memory loss, then it could be, in my opinion, that Godfrey might have been indeed the very, very first Elden Lord in the distant past, but got resurrected later on in this story. At least this would be something that was solved and would let both statements be true nonetheless. At least I think it would make Godfrey even cooler. By the way, do you know if the tree appeared before America? No, that's a hard one as well. I think the Farm Azula era is probably older than the Urge Tree. Maybe. And I think there are other characters which story might even reach further in the past than others. Like, I think it originates with I think the story began more with Godfrey and Renna and Radagon, and Marika is more like a concept that appears later on, which is and I'm playing with the idea that there might have been some kind of crossed tree in the Farum era. But it's all a little bit brainstorming for now. So, yeah, here we go. Oh, shit. What? Oh, he's almost gone. Okay, got it. The conifer, maybe you said. Oh, conifer. Ah, okay. really like to parry him, actually. Oh. Oh, I could have attacked him now. Oh my god. Can't remember his moveset. Can he just attack normally? Why does he? But yeah, Wrapped of the Mist is a really nice Ash of War. I used this Ash of War against Morgoth a few days ago. But I'm pretty sure that I was able to parry him a lot in my last playthrough. Nine. Ah, it's such an awful animation. When he's raising his leg, I'm just panic rolling, and then it's too late. Yeah, the symbol on his armor and on his cape is quite intriguing, right? Right? I don't know. It looks like thorns to me. But on his chest, it could also be like lightning, maybe. I would say it's either lightning or thorns, maybe. But it's, but I think O'Neill's is wearing the same armor set, right? Can you? Oh. You don't want to attack normally. So awful. Feels like I have to learn everything new. I'm getting stomped, guys. I have. I honestly don't watch other Lord tubers. There's no real reason. It's probably just that I just spend my time differently and like to do other stuff instead. And I don't know. Was never really. It just didn't. Yeah, they just did not pick me up. I mean, yeah, it's. I don't have. I don't feel the need to watch other Lord tubers. I don't know. I think I like just more to puzzle on my own, maybe. I mean, I was watching a lot of videos from Zali, for example. So most of the time, it's there are videos where different details are pointed out, or little secrets or so. That's something that I would. What I like to watch. And when it comes to lore tubers like Scummage, for example, these are already heavily interpreted in their own way. What the fuck is this? Come on. Oh, I got him. Gotcha. I can't dodge this one for some reason. Now he's attacking normally. Okay. Oh, maybe not. I think I'm just playing it safe. By just dodging. I would like to parry him though. Yeah, okay, I tried to parry him, that was a bad idea. No! Oh, I fucking hate this move. Can I parry this one? Oh, come on. No. I just don't want to. Yeah. Ugh. Oh, that would have been one. Yeah. Gotcha. Oh, my timing. Got it. I could have done it again, though. Locked in, guys. Yeah, this was clean later on. This was heavily discussed, by the way, in the community, because it says that the prosthesis was offered in exchange for lives of defeated knights held prisoner. But I think in the Japanese version, it's more clearly about that it's about the leg. That was strange that they never changed the description or corrected it. There are some speculations and theories that the leg that Niall is missing is grafted on Godric, because Godric got I think one of his feet or legs contains a banished knight feet or leg. I'm not sure though, but I'm definitely sure that there have been speculations about this for a reason. Maybe there's some closer look video on YouTube. I think you might be there should be at least, I think, a leg of a banished knight that looks like it could be from Niall on Godric. I don't know if that would make any sense in regard to the lore, though. Yeah, and the other thing is still that it's kind of weird that in the English description it says that the prosthesis was offered, but yeah, I can't read Japanese though. It's from what I know, most people say that the Japanese versions says that it's the leg that he offered in exchange for prisoners, a knight's held prisoner. But once again, I think in the end it's more meant as a parallel containing allusions to one of the main characters. And for now, I'm not 100% convinced, but for now I think maybe Niall is meant as a parallel to Godfrey. But I'm not yeah, I'm still not sure about that. Yeah, and it's definitely interesting that the Fire Giant also offers a leg, right? There's so much going on with the legs. All Albinori's losing their legs too. Was pretty sure that there was another item over here somewhere. I mean, besides this medallion. The sun has not been swallowed, our praise were lacking. The comrade remains soulless. I want to have my eyes upon it now. Oh, divine harlech tree. So, especially because the earth tree and its gold is in some way compared to the sun, I think the description as the line "the sun has not been swallowed," I think maybe it's referring to the grace of gold that falls on us when in the moment of our awakening. So maybe this is the ritual, you know? Especially because the grace of gold is compared to the sun in some way. Maybe it's about the grace of gold when it's about the sun. I really thought there would be an item here or somewhere. Even if it's just a smithing stone or so. But okay, but that means we are done here as well. In Castle Soul. I think we can continue over here. On the White Ridge Road. Oh wait, I still have the painting. Yeah. We can get the reward for the painting, for the sorcerer painting. I just think the Eclipse Ritual is like the so considering that we are a silver being, I think the silver matter is silver beings are heavily associated with moons, right? And even in Relana's case, for example, her body is described as a moon vessel. And I think it's because she's probably also some kind of silver being. So what if it's about a silver being touched by the grace of gold, and if you think about our resurrection in the beginning, and if we are some kind of silver being as well, which is touched by the grace of gold, this is probably, in my opinion, the Eclipse Ritual. So, but yeah. By the way, guys, do you know some kind of app or program with which you can write a wiki or so? So I'm using Obsidian for notes, but I was thinking about yeah, making my notes accessible in the future, because I want to write down a lot. But Obsidian Publish, for example, costs me some money monthly. I was just wondering if there are any alternatives. Yeah, but Google Docs aren't as I have to say I really like some features of Obsidian, because you can organize and connect and implement links in a really nice way. And yeah, Google Docs are just, I think, like it's not as beautiful. Maybe I'll have to go with obsidian anyway, but I was just wondering if you guys know any alternatives. By the way, do I have to do something to progress here?
Do you need something else?
Do we want to give him the tonic of forgetfulness? I can't remember what he's saying. I think he's saying something like that he can't remember, can't forget these things anyway, or so maybe. Or maybe he's saying something differently. What do you guys think? I don't want to do the perfect order ending anyway. Yeah, I would say let's go for it. It's not the potion that Seluvis crafted. It's the tonic you get from Tanith, and that you can give it to. So what it does is it let you lose your memories in some way, and you can give it to Raya. That is why Tanith gives you the tonic in the first place, because Raya is suffering, because she discovered what kind of being she is and how she was born, and yeah, kind of wants to die. And therefore Tanith gives you this tonic to make her stop suffering. But you can also give it to Corrin, actually. So.
Do you need something else?
In this situation, he's also suffering some thoughts that Gold Mask might not be true to the current Golden Order. Let's see what it does.
What is this? It will make me forget, you say, so that I can push aside these frightful thoughts. Would that I could. Would that I could.
Yeah. He's just saying, would that I could, would that I could. But I think he forgets in the end, I think, as far as I remember.
It will make me forget, you so that I can push aside. Would that I could. May the Golden Order shine.
At least it doesn't, I don't know if you get the Manning rune this way. I don't think so. But we can, you know, let's see what's happened in the end when I'm in the Asian capital. Yeah, we also got the Great Hood. Oh, let me explain why I think the Sorcerer painting is about Renna or America Renna and not about Renala. I said in my videos that I think that the paintings Champion Song, Sorcerer and Redmane are actually not about Rykard, Renala and Radahn, but about Godfrey, Marika and Radagon. Actually, it's just that these contain some kind of double meaning or red herrings to distract of their actual meaning. The Sorcerer painting is depicted this moon over here, and it's not a full moon; it's a crescent moon, and we also have the Sorcerer's Rise. Speaking of an antique astrologer. But the reward is the Great Hood. And it says, a hood far larger than the head is meant to cover, a burial shroud of sorts for those who discover at long last the truth they sought. And it being a burial shroud doesn't seem like it connects to Renala. Because I don't see anything that might connect it to Renala being a burial shroud. And then again, we also have the mechanic that it increases intelligence and faith. And Renala isn't associated with faith at all, I would say. Though it contains a line mentioning Renala, that's true, but that's all. So it just says, yes, surely this is the moon that young Renala gazed upon. For one, I think the usage of the word surely kind of over emphasizes the statement in some way, and I think it's supposed to point out that it's either irony or probably just meant to overemphasize the meaning that so that we think more about its actual meaning. What could it mean that the young Renala gazed upon? So it's not the full moon. It's the crescent moon, and I think it's more meant metaphorically, where she probably looked upon another sorcerer or sorceress that she might have looked up to. And because I just think it's about Rena. It's about Rena, who is associated with the crescent moon. And from the distant Farm Azula era. That's my opinion. And I also said that I think that she died in Farm Azula at the very end. And it kind of makes sense that it's because of that. And because that Rena was probably the young Carrion princess of Farm Azula. Therefore, the description kind of makes way more sense. It's a hood far larger than the head. Because it's about a little princess, a Carrion princess. Then the burial shroud, because it's about the death of the little Carrion princess of Farm Azula. And that in the end rediscovers what actually happened. So that's later on in the story where she discovered the roots of the Golden Order and her past that she kind of forgot or buried because it is kind of trauma, like the Revenant and her remembrance, which is supposed to be a parallel in my opinion. And the attributes intelligence and faith are also in my opinion associated to her, to Rena of Farm Azula. And Radagon strives for the same attributes because I think he strives to become a similar being like Rena in the distant past of Farm Azula. Similar to how Bok strives to become two strives for how his mother has been in the past. And it also fits with when you think of a sorcerer or sorceress like a Rena or Carrion, like Rena, a Carrion princess of the Farm Azula era, it makes even sense that it's that she might be death sorcery related, because intelligence and faith are also death sorcery related. So it kind of fits in every way, in my opinion. Is it a new theory you're cooking up? I mean, I've never mentioned it in any video, so I talked a little bit about it on some of my streams. These are just thoughts that I have in mind for a long time, but these are all just little patches that are not yet that are not yet connected. And I just think that Rena is the Karen. So, in short, I think Rena is the Karen princess of the Farmazula era, which died in the very distant past, and which soul was taken in by Radagon, who afterwards posed as Marika. Rena's soul was kind of just used by Radagon and was kept in the dark afterwards. But Rena, or Marika Rena, however you want to call her, later on remembers what actually happened, and from there on she started to oppose Radagon and the Greater Will again. So that's how I imagine the story. And I think the Revenant, I think, is a really great parallel to these circumstances. And it's also the Shield of Guilty, in my opinion, which is exactly about these two identities. Because it's telling a story of a young maiden which whose eyes were crushed by briars of sin before being reborn in these lands. So she got reborn later on in the story at some point. Yeah, she's also it's implicated that Rena was probably the White Snow Witch. The Snow Witch who mentored Arani. And I think it fits in every way, especially the Shield of Guilty. It's found near Demi-Human Queen because it's Marika related, in my opinion. The thorns are, for the most part, associated with Radagon, in my opinion. And in 1.0, it was even in 1.0 or before, the maiden was even described as a god or goddess. And I think it was the Karen princess, and yeah, I think she was in some way the god of pleasure sex. I mean, we even have a young girl statue in Farmazula. And even Rena being her mentor, it kind of makes sense that it was also like the Marika that we usually speak of, who conspired together with Ronnie in the Night of the Black Knives. At least how I imagine it. Oh, and in regard to the Shield of Guilty, it's really interesting. There's even the color turquoise contained in it as well. If you ever noticed that. It's a mix of silver, gold, and turquoise. Oh my god. Let's see what item is right next to him. Stone sword key. I think the Glow My Queen was her later identity. Probably. I don't know exactly. I think as a young Karen princess in the Farmer Zula era, she was probably associated with ice and frost. And later when she got reborn and divested of Radigan and starting to oppose the Golden Order, I think she was more like the Glow My Queen. At least that's how I imagine it for now. I'm not exactly sure. Why do you guys think is that the turquoise is death related? I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. It's sometimes contained in Deathblight related enemy design or so, or items. It's just I associate turquoise, for example, more with ancestral spirits or shamans, like. Turquoise is rebirth? That could be. Yeah, I mean, the theme of rebirth might be a thing. Yeah. It could definitely be that turquoise is maybe rebirth related. Maybe. I'm still not sure. I have to admit, at one point, I definitely thought that turquoise might be related to rebirth. It's just that right now I'm just still struggling. I'm considering the possibility that maybe turquoise is more related to like ancestral spirits or spirits of ancestral followers, or in some way shaman related. But I'm not yet convinced of my own idea. I don't know. But it could definitely be that it's more rebirth related, as you guys said. It definitely fits in the end. I do see them related to rebirth. I do see that, but it's just that I haven't ruled out the other possibility that it's maybe more related to ancestral spirits or shamans or ancestral followers, souls. You know, I'm just still considering another possibility. That's all. Six smoldering butterflies. You know what? I'm not sure if some of these assets are unique to this place. What makes it even more difficult to recognize is that they are covered in snow. I think this is the buckled shield? Or buckler shield? I forgot the name. I really think they might have obscured some assets here just by covering it with snow. Or concealed? Concealed? Is concealing the better word? Is that the smithing hammer? The hammer, I mean? No, it's not. Not the hammer. Especially these shields, I think. I think the shields are unique here. There are some weird gray... Or are they? Whoop. God damn it, come on, I wasn't focused. Guardians Garrison. Garrison. I don't think that these shields appear anywhere else, for example. To me, it's interesting that they placed the buckler shield here. Because I don't think they place it anywhere else. Oh shit. One smithing stone 7. Oh yeah, there's an interesting item over there. I think it's just weird. There's a hidden path. I think I learned about the path only like a year ago. And for 3 years, I didn't know that you can go up there and to this place over there. But I think there's just a nascent butterfly or so. I'm 100% sure there was. I think you have to drop from somewhere else. Wait. Is there another item? No. Is there an item down there? Nope. Okay, let's fight this guy first. Oh shit. Oh shit. I get a lot of HP. Where does these come from? Oh, from the tower. Can you guys... What? Okay. Safety or safety, yeah. Exactly, these were my thoughts. Oh, yeah, okay. The problem solved itself. That enemy dressed like Marae. Yeah, exactly. This was a Marae robe. Which is really interesting in my opinion. Because Marae is usually rot related as it seems. Ah, my run. Wrong. I think that the origin of the Earth trees is in some way rot related. And when it comes to the Earth Tree, I think the war against the giants is one of the earliest events that we know of. And there are some things that might indicate that there was some kind of rot theme going on here. I mean, we also got those mutated crows and hounds over there. Usually we find these in Caelid, right? So, maybe rot was already a thing in the past of the Earth Tree. It's even interesting because even Gori is mentioning the Earth Tree when it comes to rot and its consequences. For some reason, he's even comparing the influence of rot when the Earth Tree was flourishing. It's completely odd in his dialogue, because he's saying something like even the demigods were not able to resist. It's just paraphrased. Like that even demigods couldn't resist scarlet rot or so. It's not like exactly the words that he said, but similar like this. At least it sounds like that. Yeah, and here's the somewhat hidden path. That's rather strange. Let me get the item over there first. I'm sure the archer is perfectly capable of feeding off rot. It's basically just a sludge of decaying biomass, and we know the tree feeds on blood. I just think that I think the Earth Tree probably just I think the influence of the rot was probably just minimized in some way, maybe through the grace it got. I mean, for example, the tree guardians, for example, they have definitely blooms on them that spread poison. So it definitely looks like the Earth trees, or the minor Earth trees at least, are poison related. And I think we can even consider that the minor Earth trees or the Earth tree itself might even be rot related. If you look at what's happening in Caelid, it looks like there's growing a tree. It's probably it's just the grays contained in the Earth tree that's making the difference. I knew this path, of course. This is something that you can discover pretty easily. But I never knew about this one. So you can go up here and then on this roof. And then you can go down there. And up here. And there's an item over here. It's such a hidden path. I think I learned about this path only like after 3 years or so. Perfectly sensible platform as usual. Yeah, of course. But I think it's just a nascent butterfly. No, it's 2 gravel stones. Okay, that makes it even more weird. Okay, we got 2 fucking gravel stones here. I mean, at least the gravel stones are definitely an interesting item. Because it doesn't really fit with everything else here. So, are there any items over here that I forgot? Oh, there's one. Godwyn 8. Whoa. Oh, this is scarab. These 2 gravel stones in that fort over there are really strange, especially because they are hidden so well. Do we have more mosquitoes over here? No. Relate charge. Ouch, 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 ouch. Do you mean fire giants fought dragons and here one of the followers kind of worship dragons as well? I don't know. I have no idea why there are gravestones. I'm just... My thoughts are running around the idea that so either this is some kind of macrocosm and the gravestone are referencing something that I don't understand yet. Yeah, the buckler shield is unique to this place, right? I think so. And I don't know about the... I mean, I know that the S-stock is appearing on some other forts as well, at least in the Caria Manor. But it's interesting because I think they're sometimes maybe coding something with assets. I think the best example is the butchering knife in Castle Morn. And because I realized the butchering knife in Castle Morn, I started to watch out for other assets that doesn't really catch your eye first. And especially in this snowy area, sometimes they are definitely concealing or hiding details even more like they usually do, and that makes it even more difficult. For example, in Consecrated Snowfield, there's a really specific tent asset that only appears like 9 times in the whole Lands Between, and 2 of them are in Consecrated Snowfield. And I just recognized them by accident, because they are also covered by snow. Yeah, in the snowy area you just totally ignore, because everything looks white anyway. It makes it a bit refreshing actually, because there might be sometimes a bit more than you think. Especially the buckler shield, for example, covered by snow. It's even hard to recognize it as the buckler shield. Where do you get the buckler shield, by the way? I can't remember. I think you buy it from Precious? From a merchant, maybe?
We're almost there. The flame of ruin lies just ahead. I'm glad it was you I traveled with. I must tender my thanks to Torrent, too. Thank you, Torrent. Please continue to lend your aid. Till the end.
Gostock sells it. Yeah, that's weird. Whenever those assets appear, I always think they put effort into it to use an additional asset that they usually not use. So that's why I'm most of the time convinced that there might be something to it.
Shall I turn your... Let my hand share them with me. Your thoughts, your ambitions, the principles you would follow.
Okay, guys, it's already pretty late here. That's it for today. Do you think the buckle is meant to represent the silver tier? Never thought about that this way. Is it even possible to buy or get the shield that the Banished Knight wear? Yeah, definitely. The Banished Knights drop the shield. But there's a blue gold variant in Lane Dell in one specific room as decoration. Looks kind of neat. But yeah, I wish you all a good evening and a good night, and thanks for coming by. And yeah, maybe we see us tomorrow or another day, another stream. Bye bye, guys.